Philadelphia is often known as a city of neighborhoods, and today we're in historic Mount Airy to visit Allen Krantz right here, right off the Allens Lane train station. As you can see, this neighborhood of Mount Airy was built around this train station, and today we're going to go over and see Allen, who last week we installed a Unico high velocity system, and see what he had to say about his experience. This is a Woodward house.
Right.
Could you explain what that means?
Yes.
To some of the people that aren't familiar.
Sure. This whole area of Chestnut Hill was developed originally by a guy named Houston, and he developed what was known as the Wissahickon Valley. So that became Chestnut Hill. So Houston was the big train guy. That's what happened, is he got the trains to come out to Chestnut Hill when there was nobody here. So he started developing this area, and George Woodward was a doctor who married Houston's daughter. First he rehabbed old houses, which meant, you know, like Revolutionary War houses, and then he started building houses generally in the vicinity of train stations at first. But his biggest sort of peak of house building was around in the early 20s. And this whole area by the Allen Lane train station is, I mean, apparently he built like within, I don't know how many years, but maybe like 300 houses. This is like a golden age of house building in the 20s and 30s like that, because they really knew what they were doing. And they had a lot of variety, but they were essentially using the same footprint for each house. There was definitely that kind of late Victorian Edwardian architecture. I mean, look at all the universities that were built then, you know, there were these, you know, Gothic European kind of styles. I used to walk down here in my neighborhood just to look at the houses, in fact. And across the street are these very famous quadruplex houses that are, quote, Woodward houses. And the Woodward Company still manages a lot of the original properties. They sold off some and managed some. But this house was actually owned by Woodward's son.
Really?
Until 1964. And we're only the fourth owners since the house was built in 22. You know, I've looked at my neighbors' houses and they've all had walls taken down and kitchens modified, and this house is like in like absolutely original condition, which was one of the reasons why I was so concerned.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to get air conditioning, that it doesn't muck up anything, and it didn't.
Awesome.
So, you know, we're very happy. I mean, we really are. So, you know, I was really concerned. I don't want to see ductwork. I don't want, you know, and it went into this house like really just, you know, the way I would hope it would.
That's great. And how about the noise? I know, you know, you being a musician, and the noise was
that's really important to us. And you know, I mean, the little bit we've been able to have it on, because of course the weather has been so perfect. You know, it's fine. It's just not a problem. In fact, I mean, Susan is you know, neurotic about noise as I am, and even she's happy, you know, because it's just like a little shh in the background, and you know, it just isn't. I mean, compared to how much more comfortable you feel. Not to mention the fact that, I mean, I'm a musician. I mean, I could barely work. I mean, I'm sticking to my instrument, you know, and so like to trade a little bit of a shh for being able to, you know, be productive and get on with my work as somebody who works out of the house, you know, that's worth a lot to me.
That's great.
Yeah. You know, you guys were extremely neat. They were always on time. These guys, every day we saw, you know, they worked here all day, and when they were gone, it was just amazing how, I mean, I didn't have to tell them to put plastic over this and what. They did all that by themselves, you know. They did a great job. I mean, the people that I've shown this so far to, you know, they all have old houses, beautiful old places, and when I show them, hey, look at this, you know, we live in this, you know, historic place too, and there's like no footprint, you know. I mean, they see these like little things and they go, wow. So, you know, in this neighborhood, all my neighbors are going, oh, wow, you're able to do this in this house, and they know it'll work in theirs, because it's, you know, even though there's aesthetic and cosmetic differences between the houses, the essential design of the houses is